Hi, I'm Drew. Welcome to the Beggars Woodshop. Many times our tools need little bits of maintenance, but sometimes we've got to go a lot more with maintenance to do a full repair. And that's exactly what I've got to do with my Radial arm saw. Let's start by redoing the table. That's coming up right here on the Beggars Woodshop. Come on inside.
This program has been made possible by contributions from our viewers. Thank you.
When I got this Radial arm saw, I had one problem. Eventually I'd have more, but we're only here to talk about the one. The table on this thing is made of particle board and got wet, completely warped. Now I'm stuck with a messed up and damaged table. So I decided to fix it. Recently I got my hands on some wood and I was able to start doing some repairs. Now before I show you this video and narrate with some camera interjections, let's take a minute to talk about safety. Read the manuals that come with your power tools. The more you understand and follow those safety rules, the less likely you are to cause personal injury either to yourself or someone else. The greatest protection you could take, hearing protection, and of course, eye protection. You will be thankful the day it comes in handy. Let's just hope it never does. Alright, let's go back and see what I did to get these nice pieces. Take a look. The wood being used is from an old bed made of solid wood. I'm not sure what the wood is, but the smell when it's cut is incredible. The first piece is just over 80 inches long and needs to be cut into two pieces, 40 inches long. I make a mark and cut off part of one side with a broken screw still attached. Since it was not flush, I got out my rotary tool and cut it down as smooth as possible. Now I can make my cuts. I use the square as a straight edge to ensure my cuts are straight and smooth. There are other tools I could use, but this is what I have in the shop. Always feel like you're doing something and you're not. If anyone wants to try to identify this wood, please be my guest. I need both pieces together to equal 16 inches, so a rip cut must be made. The wood has an edge that is rounded over on one part, and that must be removed. Since the piece isn't too wide, I can use the cutting guide that came with the saw. I start having problems with sawdust, battery, and overheating. Notice how often I stop. I was curious after making all these cuts, even before making these cuts, what was I going to do for a fence, because this is actually thicker than what's already there. And from the looks of it, I actually... Oh, no, wait, no, I can't. Well, okay, that's what I'll do. I think I can still use leftover scraps, even though they're thicker in all directions, and cut it flat on the bandsaw. Finally, use for the bandsaw. And I've got plenty of scrap that I can test to make sure I'm going the correct direction, because there's no fence. I hate not having a fence. Then again, I gotta do more maintenance to that bandsaw than I realized. Now let's cut piece 2. Again, 2 parts, 40 inches long. I also stupidly realized I should have charged both batteries. Okay, you're probably wondering, why am I not doing some of these cuts on the bandsaw? Well, I'm going to tell you while I'm waiting for batteries to charge. One, weight. Okay, that's a big one right there, is how heavy these things are. Two, no fence. Okay, and three, control. What do I mean by control? Well, basically, with how long these are, I've got no way to really balance everything to where I want. Otherwise, I would have made the cross cuts a long time ago. Table saw, well, I've mentioned it many times on this channel. The table saw on my Mark V is just... Alright, it's the original 1954 setup. Needs to change. That's why we have a GoFundMe. You know what? Yeah, let's make this a shameless pitch. I've got a GoFundMe. Link is in the description below. I don't know why I'm looking down, but okay. Yeah, link is in the description below. Thank you to everyone who has contributed. We actually, at the time I'm recording this, did have a $100 contributor, so thank you. My apologies for not remembering your name. I remember it was a guy, just by the name. I know, presumptuous, but... oh, well. I have to hurry this up because I'm running low on data space. Great. Okay, so yeah, I've got a GoFundMe. If you like what I'm doing so far, or want to contribute to anything else and tell me how terrible I'm doing, yeah, if you've got to do that, leave a comment down below, like this video, subscribe, hit that little bell icon for notifications, and okay, you might actually help to let you know when I actually put up a video, because sometimes it doesn't happen for some reason. I noticed this where I'm subscribed to this old house, and I'm not getting their videos here lately. They've put up a few I'm not getting, but when I go onto my game system, they're showing up. I'm not even signed into anything, so yeah, okay, enough of the shameless pitch. We got like another 25 minutes for batteries, so let's wait and see. Once everything is charged, I got back to my cuts. The rib cuts are different in that they need to be 6 7/8 inches and 4 1/16 inches. My measurements are based on the manual for the recall kit. Being limited with the size of my straight edge, I had to get creative on making all my cuts. Problem solving is a great description of what is woodworking. Ooh, I'm way too close. Day 2. I got that cut made. And after I got that cut made, I did a little measuring. Wow. Okay. So the first boards I cut were just under 1.5 inches. The second set of boards I'm cutting, just slightly over 1.5 inches. Now these boards that I'm cutting are going to go behind the fence. Yeah, because I'm not using this thing for rib cuts or any of the other cuts. This is just all cross cutting. So I have to decide what to do, and it's quite possible this may be a very short video, because I'm not going to do everything. So I have one rip cut still to make on larger boards, and then we go from there. So here we go. Like the previous day, I have to think around limits and deal with too much running of the saw, which is causing my overheating. I realized I forgot to cut one edge so it was long. No screw issue here. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and the pieces... I need to replace the heads on the jointer so that it's the modern cutter heads and be able to sharpen them. I need a planer to really make sure all the surfaces are even. unless I decide that forget that and just make it wobbly, but I don't want to do that. So, because nothing is coming out complete in terms of evenness and levelness, I'm just gonna say this is the end of part 1, which you're probably seeing read in the description now. I don't know when a part 2 will come, please don't ask, because I do not know. But hopefully this is the start of getting this whole thing fixed, finished, jointed, and the bloody plane flying over is ruining what I'm talking about. Bloody private jet. I don't know how well that's going to appear on that camera. So, I'm going to call it good here. And I'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully I can get my hands on a Shopsmith planer. Better jointer setup, a way to sharpen the knives for the jointer and the planer. Cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, I'll see you next time, right here on the Beggars Woodshop.